Bobby Knight, congratulations to you.
Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you.
I imagine you hate to see the 4 years pass, and I imagine they've passed quickly for you, have they not?
Well, we don't think it's quite all over yet, Jim. We feel we've got 4 big ones ahead of us, and we'll worry about what's past when we get these 4 over with.
You betcha.
Hello, guys, and thank you so much for joining me on this tribute to Bob Knight. So, Bob Knight, I was born in '82, so I really remember rooting for IU in the late 80s and early 90s when I was growing up. I've been a lifelong IU fan. Love Bob Knight. I loved his ways. I love the style of play, how the players played super hard for him, and how he really did care about his players. Bob Knight is a very misunderstood individual. While a lot of people in their tributes will just show double-edged sword, I don't really think so. I mean, Bob Knight, what he did worked, and it brought us winning basketball to Indiana, and we very successful under Bob Knight, and I believed in his ways. I believed in how he motivated his players. But Bob Knight, this very first clip we're going to show, and we just saw that clip of him. That was during the Ohio State, when Ohio State was in the tournament when Bob Knight was a senior in college at Ohio State. So we're going to be looking at this next clip of Bob Knight when Luke Recker got hurt and how he had to just run in with Teddy Valentine. It all went a little bit awry and the fans got fired up. This is why we love Bob Knight so much. Let's roll the clip.
Biggest lead for the War was 17. Oh, down the middle. And as Recker drives, it's goaltending.
Gotta be. And they're going to call a technical foul on McLean, too. But the question is, was he protecting himself?
Well, they say no. They've already signaled the T, and Recker is down hurt.
How can it not be a basket? If the ball is going up there, you can't touch the rim.
Well, Tom O'Neill's going to come over and make the call.
If you touch the rim and the ball's coming down, that is goaltending. I don't know what other rule you got. They got a bigger problem because Luke Recker stays down. See, he gets kicked in the back. Now, he's holding the rim. Now, the question for me, I don't know if McLean isn't protecting himself. So I'm not sure the technical foul is warranted. But if the ball is coming off the backboard, it's considered coming down, and they pull the rim. That's goaltending.
Maybe shouldn't be a technical, which they have already called, but definitely should be goaltending, which they haven't called.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's exactly the way I see it, Dave. That's what you said.
But
they got a guy down. What is he doing? Valentine just called a technical on Bob Knight, and he's being told that Luke Recker is down. What is he doing?
This is going to stand, though. Ed Hightower is pointing out to Ted he's only going out there to check on his injured player. And I don't think this technical will stand, but we'll see.
He's going to look at an injured player, and Valentine called a technical.
Well, Recker holding his right rib cage. He has made his way to his feet.
He's gone.
Oh, they're going to throw Knight. That technical stands. Wow. He'll plead his case to Hightower.
Well, no, he's going after Ted. There's no chance he's not going to tell him what he thinks about this one. And what he's telling him that he had a player's down and he has a right to go and see what is with that player. Now it's time at this point. They just called another one.
Senior night 98 ends early for Bob Knight.
And he's trying to explain it now to Ed Hightower.
Well, they've had their chance to rescind it.
No, there's no doubt.
It's not going to happen.
I saw what you saw. That Bob Knight was going to look at Luke Recker, and I thought that Ed Hightower saw it and told him that. And you know what? And Ed Hightower is telling him he told him. I'm reading his lips. He's telling Bob Knight he told him that. And Valentine was sticking with what he called. Now, was there something said along the way? I absolutely do not know. This is not going to be rescinded.
Valentine standing as far away as he can as Hightower continues to get the last volley of the night from Bob Knight.
Yeah, and at this point, it's a volley in vain. It's not going to be changed.
Now Tom O'Neill's turn. Well, he's got a little bit more to get off his chest still before he heads off the floor.
He wants to make the plea, but the plea it's too late because Valentine is the one to call it, and he's the one that's got to take it back. And if he doesn't, then you've got to go with what you got.
And after 5 minutes or so, to a thunderous standing ovation, Knight will finally exit.
The last part of this is to make sure the fans get in it. That was to get the fans in it. Well, he's going to the other side where you can go in. You can go into the Indiana basketball locker room two ways. You can go that way that he went out to the training room. Bob Knight wants the fans in the game.
Now again, this all happened because Luke Recker was down injured. And Knight walked straight underneath the basket where his player was down. Valentine teed him up.
Because we're just not tough enough in the way we're playing. That's the whole thing. We're not tough enough on the board. We're not tough enough handling the ball. We're not tough enough moving the ball. Now let's don't have anything left after 10 minutes. And then we'll just play on guts from that point on. But let's throw everything we've got into the first 10 minutes of this half. Who in the hell is guarding Hanson? Well then, goddammit! Good I feel tonight, Russ. I'll even say hello to you.
You must feel damn good.
I'd say, boys, we're going to play basketball my way. This isn't going to be very democratic. We're not going to vote on what offense or what defense or who the hell's going to play or anything, because I've forgotten more about this game than you're going to know, and we're going to play it my way.
You took a jump shot off the dribble, no passes. Your next shot is a jump shot with one pass. Now, are we running your offense or mine?
It's important that people know what the hell you think when you're the man in charge, and I try to leave little doubt as to exactly what I think about most issues. Somebody says to me, how do you get your teams to play as hard as they do? Your teams play harder than almost any other basketball team I watch. What's your secret? Well, there's absolutely no secret. You're either going to play hard or you're not going to play. That's a great motivational device.
You get out on the court, he asks you to do one thing, and that's just give him 100% every second that you're out on the court. And I personally don't think that's asking a lot. Sometimes he's so intense that he gets so involved in the game, and yelling at some players really destroys them. I don't mean permanently, it just for a certain period in their life. It was like, this is the toughest thing they've ever been through. And my whole goal as far as being on the basketball court was winning the NCAA championship. And he motivated me to get out there every day to do that. And he motivated the other guys on the team to do it. And it's hard to argue with that.
Come on, move it. Let's go. I honestly believe that people respond who are competitive best to criticism. I sometimes think that praise makes us a little lazy. Come on, be ready, Ray, be ready! Well, see, I'm a great believer that none of us works to potential. I believe the most detrimental, singular thing in society is human nature. I think human nature dictates that instead of working on my jab step, one dribble, and jump shot for an hour, I work on it for 15 minutes, and then I go watch what's going on around the swimming pool. You know, I think human nature, to you, to me, to players, is the toughest opponent that we have to fight. We read reams of copy about the will to win. We hear countless broadcasters talk about the will to win. I want to tell you something about the will to win. The will to win is the most overly exaggerated phenomena that we have in society today. You have to have a will to prepare to win. Not a will to win, because everybody's got that. It's the will to prepare. If we can get the kind of boy that I think is willing to say, all right, I'm going to be a part of a really good team, and from that, I'm going to get a lot of recognition, which has happened with our players, instead of the boy that says, well, how many shots per game will I get in your offense? Or how many minutes will I play? Or how will you use me offensively? If we can determine that the kid will think that all the recognition that he wants is going to come out of team accomplishment, then this is what we're after, and that's not an easy thing to determine. I think I have to take away individuality to some degree to accomplish what I want to accomplish in athletics. They required to get haircuts. They're required to be clean-shaven. That takes something away from those kids that is a little bit of a sacrifice on their part.
Now we got 3 minutes to take this thing into the halftime. You've worked 17 minutes. You've played good basketball for 17 minutes to get it into this position. Let's take it in with 3 really strong minutes at both ends of the court. Let's help each other out. Let's block out, and let's be sure of what we're doing with the ball on offense. Let's go.
Maybe I do have tunnel vision in that regard, but damn it, I want those kids to be able to get out of here, and I want them to look back and say, now they may not understand why I've said what I did or what I've said, but I want them to get out of here, and at some time, it may not be this year or next year, maybe 5 years, I want them to be able to sit down and analyze education at Indiana University and say that playing basketball was the greatest form of education I received while being there. I'd like to refer to this whole thing, from start to finish, as a real Mickey Mouse operation. But that'd be an insult to Mickey Mouse.
I'll paraphrase Churchill a little bit when he talked about the Battle of Britain. Never have so many thought they knew so much and actually knew so little.
I don't think I would ever qualify as a biblical scholar.
I mean, that's what I get paid to do.
No motivational device I've ever come across is as good as this.
Your players were asked.
But you, I think, have got to really be a flexible leader if you're going to be an effective leader. I walked into the locker room after the first half of our game with Spain in 1984 for the gold medal. We're ahead by 29 points. We've played basketball as well as the game can be played. Michael Jordan has played 12 minutes. Out of the 20, he has 11 rebounds, 9 assists, and 19 points in 12 minutes. In my opinion, there's nobody that's ever played anything that can compare to Michael Jordan, with the possible exception of Jack Nicklaus and Babe Ruth. Michael Jordan is just the best there ever was at what he does by a considerable margin. So I'm walking across the floor with this 29-point lead as I look at the scoreboard, and I'm a great believer in the best 3 minutes of the game for us has got to be the first 3 minutes of the second half. But what the hell am I going to say? Hey, we got to get better. We're 29 points ahead. We got to win by 59. These kids are going to be a little bit satisfied with themselves. They know how well they've played. And when I get to the locker room, I still haven't come up with an answer. I open the door, and the first guy I see is Jordan sitting in front of his locker. Idea light flashes. I say to myself, I'm going to get on Jordan's ass a little bit. And everybody else is going to say, God, if he's upset with Jordan, how's he feel about me? 12 minutes, 19 points, 11 rebounds, 9 assists.
and I have the stat sheet in my hand, and I walk over in front of Jordan, and I look down at him, and I say, Mike, when the hell are you going to set a screen? We got 4 guys out there screening when you're in the game, screening to get you open, screening to get each other open. Haven't seen you set a screen yet. The only way I get all 5 guys screening, Mike, is to get you the hell out of the game. Now, when are you going to set a screen? All you've been doing so far, goddammit, is rebounding, passing, and scoring. You need to screen, Mike. Now, Jordan, you've all seen the grin. I mean, it's the greatest grin in the world. Doesn't quite use all of his grin in this circumstance. But he looks up at me and he grins a little bit and he says, Coach, didn't I see last week where you said I was the quickest player you'd ever been around? I said, Mike, what the hell has that got to do with you screening? Coach, I think I'm setting them quicker than you can see them out there. Well, I was flexible enough to look at Jordan and say, then God damn it, slow him down a little bit so I can see him. These are the things that I think have to go in to being a leader. And we're all going to make mistakes in leadership positions.
So we saw Bob Knight has some hilarious stories about Michael Jordan. This next set of clips is going to be some of him being hilarious with the media. Bob Knight, well, you just got to see these for yourself. Watching it for the last time. Thank you, Bob Knight. Roll the clips.
Down here and then go up and have so much trouble with them on their home court. Is the home court that big of a deal? Have you guys gotten worse? Or they gotten better?
If it amazes you, then you don't know anything about basketball. You're illuminating your relative lack of knowledge of the game with a statement like that.
Coach, but 51 points. You beat Northwestern here by 51 points. That doesn't amaze you?
Well, let me ask you something. Let's just start all this fucking shit again. Now, I'm not here to argue the thing with you. I'm not going to fucking debate things with you goddamn people from television. You know, you want a fucking answer from me, you get the answer. You don't like the fucking answer, then don't use the fucking program, okay? But I'm not here to debate this bullshit with you people. Okay. I don't think you're quite capable of debating basketball.
Can we try it again, Coach?
I've been trying to figure out what the hell's going on here.
Final question, Coach?
Let Eric, I'll tell him when it's a goddamn final question. You just sit there, and when I get tired, then they can stick those pencils up their ass, Eric, and I'll tell them. All right? Jesus Christ, Eric. You're gonna. What are you gonna do, Eric, when you get up with the White Sox and you tell one of those son of bitches to shut up? I mean, that's it. You're going to take a bat and shove it up your ass, and you're going to pour it out, and you've got 2 goddamn teeth in it, Eric. Came out and played in the second half, and it was not a very good half of basketball from our standpoint. Any questions?
Bob, you seem to try to motivate him continually during the second half.
Well, Jesus Christ, what the fuck do you expect me to do? I mean, that's what I goddamn get paid to do. Did you see us play UCLA? I mean, if you're not going to fucking try to fucking motivate somebody after that, then I'll be goddamn dick I shouldn't even get paid. Well, that's what, Jesus Christ, that's what I'm trying to do. Anybody else? Good. Get out. Let's go. Move. I don't want to argue with the point. You want to send somebody else down from that channel, fine, but you get your ass out of here. Because I said so. That's why. Now just move. I'm not going to argue the point. Well, we'll just interrupt the press conference and forget it. That's all right. No, I'm not going to go on. Well, get your ass out of here. Told you once before, I never want to see you down here. I'm not dealing with assholes like you. You're not assholes. Get out. Would somebody give me a policeman out there? Who's got a question? Huh? Oh, I wish the three-point shot was buried with Ed Stites. It would have been a goddamn fitting thing to put in his casket with.
Well, I don't know whether I did not think it was difficult. No.
Was that a quick question? Am I good?
I tried to, in the last year or so, tried to develop a much more harmonious relationship with the press, and there was probably a time when I'd have told you that was a horseshit question. I won't do that today.
Coach, why do you say fuck so much?
Well, I really don't think there's any word in the English language that expresses so many different things as the word fuck does. You know, you can use surprise. Well, I'll be fucked. You can use the word fuck to indicate anger.
Now, back to the game. Unnamed sources. Tell me what's an unnamed source. Anybody do that? I mean, tell me what the hell is, you're going to ask me questions. What's an unnamed source? As an unnamed source, me standing up here and saying that I just was told outside by somebody who doesn't wish to be identified that 65% of the men in this room are having extramarital affairs with sheep. Is that an unnamed source? If Alfred wants to sit down and talk to me instead of holding press conferences about a lot of bull, I'll be glad to sit down and talk to him and explain things to him a little bit. If that's what, in fact, he wants to do, instead of going through a lot of bull, most of which has not happened in press conferences. This and that guy is the greatest travesty I've ever seen in basketball in 33 years as a college head coach.
So Bob Knight, he meant everything to Indiana basketball, and we've been trying to recapture that type of intensity since he left. The teams that he had, he meant everything to the state of Indiana and Indiana Hoosiers basketball. I loved him as a coach, and his ways, really, people don't really care about those ways around here. I mean, did he get a little bit carried away at times? Yes, he did. But for the most part, he was a great person, a great man, and you will forever be missed by Indiana and Indiana basketball. And just thank you, Bob Knight, for being our coach for 29 years. You brought so much joy to us, and you made so many great men when you coached at Indiana, mentored young men into being the people they are today. So for that, thank you very much, Bob Knight. Until next time, stay classy out there, Hoosier fans.
I know you're probably sick to death of this, and it may be the kind of thing that will follow you the rest of your life. The deal with the chair. You flipped a chair onto the floor, the Purdue game. You must be tired of hearing that.
Well, but, I've not really discussed exactly everything that went on behind it. But
there was a story behind the chair throwing.
Well, people jump at conclusions automatically with the thing. And the game is kind of going on, and I hear somebody across the floor keep hollering, "Coach! Coach! Coach Knight!" And I try not. I get all kinds of suggestions. I try not to pay any attention to it. And finally, I get up, and I'm up and down a lot. And one time, I'm standing up, and I look across the floor, and Coach Knight! And here's a little old lady across the floor that reminded me of my grandmother.
Oh, that's sweet.
And I thought so. And I thought particularly to take time out during the course of a tough game. And I said, "Did you want me for something?" And she just said, "If you're not going to sit down any more today than you have so far, could I have your chair?"
Just flipped it on over. I didn't realize it. There it is. Whoa!